Hello, hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I'm your host, John Harris, and today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have Bark, and they have a new album called Written in Stone, which was released just at the tail end of 2020 via Sound of the Hound Records. Right now I'm being joined by Martin to share some more information about this stellar release and a few of the tracks, a few of the music videos that we have access to. So Martin, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, John. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely great to have you on. How is you're in Belgium, yeah?
Yeah, we're in Antwerp. The band is based in Antwerp, Belgium. Now we have a pretty spring day. I don't know, for a change. You know, it's always gray and rainy. But today we have a springy day, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Sweet. So take us through this record, Written in Stone. Was there a goal in writing the record?
Well, that's a funny question because we were coming from some lineup change, you know, and the band was in a kind of crazy period. So I took it like it would be the last album for the band. You know, I thought, okay, you know, let's release one more album and see what happens, and that's it. But while we were making it, you know, the whole energy of the band was renewed, and it was great. So, but the whole concept of Written in Stone and to have a tomb on the cover artwork was a little bit like, you know, like put the band underground and that's it, you know. But but yeah, now you know, as we were going on with the composing the album and stuff, we felt it was a really good album. The energy was completely renewed with Tone, the new guitarist that entered. So we said, okay, this is good. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. Okay. So take us through these lineup changes. You mentioned something about the tone from the guitar player. So tell us about that.
Well, our previous guitarist, Rui, I also play the guitar. He just, you know, left the band. It was in good terms. Everything is okay between us, but it was not working anymore. And he was, you know, a founding member with me and the drummer. So it was not cool, you know, these kind of things.
Yeah.
They are never really cool. So the energy of the band was a little bit down, you know. But then Tone, we knew him for a long time. He joined us. He had replaced me many times playing the guitar with Bark. So he knew the songs, you know. It was a very natural step to go further. And it was great. You know, we started to write a lot together. So, you know, the whole energy came back. That was really good. And that was the problem before, that we were not writing, you know. You know, when the band is stuck, it feels stuck. So yeah, it was good that we could move on, you know.
Yeah. So did Tune do a bunch of the writing on the record as well?
Yeah, we did most of the record together.
Okay. Very cool. Is that the only change, or is Jorn new as well?
No, Jorn is the brother of our drummer, Ward. And yeah, he's also a founding member, let's say. You know, we started with the three of us, with the previous guitarist, me and the drummer. And then like 2 weeks later, everybody else joined. So it's kind of, we're all founding members.
Very cool. Now, going back to Tune joining up, did that change how the writing went? Like, does he play that much differently?
Well, he's a really good solo guitarist, you know. And before Bark, in the first two albums, we didn't have a lot of solos, you know. It was more like a groove vibe thing. But with this one, I wanted to go a little bit more heavy metal, you know, in certain parts. So yeah, I started to write things having in mind that Tom would bring great solos, and we did a bunch of you know, harmonize twin guitars and stuff like that before we didn't do. So that was cool. It changed. It changed, but it was, a little bit. The idea was to change with this album a little bit the style, broaden it up a little bit more, add the heavy metal vibe to it. So it changed. It changed a little bit, but it was just things that were starting to go in a certain direction. And when you have a lineup change, it's kind of a revolution thing, and you go, okay, let's go all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you mentioned that the energy recording the album and writing the album was great. This was released at the end of 2020. Did you guys do all of this during the pandemic?
We started a little bit before the pandemic. We started writing in November, end of November of 2019. On December, we recorded. We have our own studio, so composing and recording is kind of the same for us. Okay. Then we take the songs and we move parts around and stuff like that until we are happy with it. So production, arranging, composing, recording is all part of the same process. We finished the vocals on January, 10th of January, I think we finished the album. Then I'm a sound engineer and I work with bands. I went a couple of tours and stuff like that. And then, the pandemic strikes and everything stopped. So I had to mix the album. And that I did between March and April. So in April, we had it ready. And then it was just, waiting what to do. Because in the beginning, it was like, we're going to close for 1 month. Then it's another month, then another month. And we didn't know what to do. If to release it in 2020 or wait a little bit more. But we decided just to do it, in 2020 because it was an album from that year and we wanted to keep it that way.
Mm-hmm. So you did the mixing?
Yeah. Okay. I'm a record producer as well.
Okay. So then were you mixing as you were recording, or do you wear different hats? How did you set up how you wanted to have the record sound? Because it has a great sound, especially the bass. I dig the bass sound.
Thank you. Well, it's my job. I make records and I do live sound and stuff like that. So I know what I want to hear, let's say. And Bark is a band that has a kind of very defined sound. So it was not really hard to go for it and mix it, because already the guitar sound was there. I didn't have to tweak a lot, I was happier with the sounds when I was getting them. And then it was just a matter of leveling, the solos were already printed, played with the effects. The guitar sound, okay, I like this, I record with this, and then practically we didn't do anything to it. The drums, you polish them a little bit, stuff like that. But no, it was not tough. The bass, our bass player, he really likes dirty sounding bass. So we chose the bass sound together. And then, when we were finishing, it sounded pretty much like the record actually ended up sounding,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, there's a few singles that came out. We've got To the Grave and Mass Lobotomy, and also as well I have I'm a Wreck.
Yes, I'm a Wreck was the first one. We did a lyric video of that one. Then Mass Lobotomy came. And now To the Grave, we are planning to release it mid-March or something like that. We just finished yesterday the editing. The director came and showed us the last take. So we're pretty happy with it. And now, it's just a matter of 10 days or something like that till it goes online.
Okay, cool. Yeah, when this episode will air in April, so we'll definitely have that posted in the show notes.
All right.
Yeah, music video. Cool. Good. Now, the funny thing is, because I'm watching these things in 2021, I'm thinking, you know, I'm a wreck and Mass Lobotomy. I'm thinking this has to do with the pandemic, but evidently it doesn't.
No, no. The the mass lobotomy actually, yeah, it's relevant. You know, it's the things that happen in the world. You know, mass lobotomy talks about fake news. You know how easy it is to fake realities because before you wanted to see to believe. You know. And nowadays you see and you shouldn't believe, you know, this kind of stuff. You have face swaps and you have the Green King, the video that it shows like it's a professional news channel, and it's actually us in a garage, you know, with the green key there, and the guy, you know, in a suit and stuff like that, and it looks like it's something serious. So the idea was to show a little bit how easy it is to deceive people, you know. And I'm a Wreck is a little bit, you know, more a rock and roll song that talks about going to a show and living the rock and roll way, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Boom. And then To the Grave. Is this all about written in stone? We're going to send everything to the grave?
Well, To the Grave, actually, it's a little bit like that. You know, it wasn't this ending of the band thing. And it's a cool video now because we kill our singer. And he goes underground, you know, and he starts to call us. He calls us to the grave. So we go to the underworld with him. And it's a little bit, you know, the idea that we want to do now for the next album. Because once we finish this concept of, okay, we bury the band, ciao, is the last album. Once we thought, okay, maybe we should go on, you start to think about what do you do next, you know? And I think that the next album is going to be about the underworld, what we saw there while we were buried and dead.
Beautiful. So then there is a new album in the works. How much can you tell us about this new album that's in the works?
Well, we have, yesterday I counted, we have 38 songs or musical ideas, you know, to choose from. Mm-hmm. We write a lot. It's easy for us to write. We have everything ready, you know. It's going to be tough to choose because I like most of it. You know, it's a little bit the extra mile of this album, you know. It has even more heavy metal influence, more guitar work, more riffing and stuff like that. The drum grooves are more or less in the same vein, you know, because that's the way our drummer plays. He's a very rock drummer. He's not really a metal drummer, you know, with double kicks and stuff like that, super fast. Yeah. His favorite band is AC/DC, Motorhead, stuff like that, you know. So that makes a cool mix for the band because we, the guitarists, are a little bit more thrash, death metal, and he's a rocky drummer. So, you know, it ends up being this rock and roll feel that I think we're going to go that same way.
Okay. Perfect. Sweet. So, Martin, we've chatted about the new record. We've chatted about 3 tracks off the record: Mass Lobotomy, To the Grave, I'm a Wreck. We've chatted about recording, mixing. Did you do the mastering as well, Martin, or did you send that out for mastering?
No. I sent it to Jarne Halen, that is a mastering engineer here in Belgium.
Okay. What were you looking for in the master that either you didn't do yourself, or do you just prefer to have another person do the mastering?
In general, I like to have someone else because, you know, when you compose, you arrange, you mix, you are very close to the whole work, you know, and sometimes it's a little bit hard to make decisions, you know, this final mastering thing, you know, like DQ and stuff like that. You know, by then, you everything sounds the same, you know. Yeah. You need someone fresh that says, okay, this is what we're going to do, you know, for the final touch. You detach a little bit from it, and then you get it like a week later, and you say, okay, you know, I have fresh ears. I like it, I don't like it. and you can take decisions with a little bit more like a fresh mind. So I like to send, in general, I like to have it mastered by someone else, but it's not always the case.
Okay. Beautiful. Sweet. Is there anything that I missed that you wanted to chat about, Martin?
No, I think we talked everything.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing would be, it's March right now when we're chatting. Normally we'd be talking about, the festival lineups, but is that going through? Is that happening? Do you know?
And I don't think so, man.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to happen because now they are one by one, they are canceling. You see, the Hellfest, the Grass Pops, they are already canceled. Everybody's waiting for Wacken, but Wacken is at the end of the season almost. Is in August. It's one of the last big festivals. So everybody's kind of waiting to see what they're gonna do, because they have a little bit more time. But the festivals in June, they're already canceling all of them. It's gonna be tough to play this year, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a tough one. I expect it to be a more November thing, December, closer to the end of the year. But it all depends, the vaccine and stuff like that. And this thing has to, pass. I had the COVID, I'm just recovered from that. And it's not cool, it's not a cool thing. So the fact that we cannot play, it sucks, but, it's a tough one. It's a tough sickness.
What was it like for you? Do you know how you got it? What was it like?
Well, I got it probably from the school of my daughters, they brought it from there. It passed in 2 days. I had a very strong cough. It was like a knife inside of my chest, like from inside. But in 2 days, it was gone. But, you end up thinking, what was that? Because it was weird, a weird cough, a weird sound. My voice was like 10 times lower. And I said, well, I'm going to do the test just in case to see. And it was super positive. So
not just positive, super positive.
Yeah, it was super positive. So I had to stay home for 12 days or 10 days, something like that. But I was feeling all right, But I can imagine that someone that has already a condition, can be very tough. Or for someone that is old, it can be really, really heavy. So, yeah, you have to take care. So that's why the shows, maybe for guys like you and me that we're healthy and we are in the age where we are, is not that dangerous. But then you go, you kiss your mother, and then, shit happens. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful with that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Martin, I believe we've covered everything. So thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me. And greets to you and greets to everybody that's going to see this somewhere in April in the future.